In the limited comics series Skull Island Birth of Kong issue number 3, we're shown a pretty detailed vision / flashback of the birth of Kong. So at the boneyard of Skull Island, we see a pack of skull crawlers surrounding Kong's parents at their den, which they say is, their home and pretty much their last stand against the skull crawlers. And Kong's mother during this time was pregnant. During the battle as well, she was pregnant, basically just fighting people off. However, they kind of hint that the stress of the battle caused her to go into labor maybe a bit earlier than she initially would, which really put a lot of the pressure on Kong's father to fight off the numerous skull crawlers as Kong's mother is giving birth. And Kong's father unfortunately ended up being overwhelmed by the skull crawlers. However, Kong's mother at least was able to give birth. And even though she gave birth and was probably exhausted from it, she was able to hide Kong in a cave, give him like a rock wall kind of, like enough that he could see, but enough that he's also hidden from the skull crawlers. And Kong's mom from there went to join her mate in hopefully fighting off the skull crawlers. However, they weren't really that successful, and the skull crawlers ended up killing both Daddy and Mama Kong. And baby Kong, unfortunately hidden inside the cave, saw his parents fight to their death, causing the traumatic experience that fueled Kong's rage going forward against all the skull crawlers. So it's very interesting type of origin. It kind of makes Kong feel like a Batman almost in a certain way. He's technically an orphan. It's just really interesting to see if maybe this isolation or maybe this traumatic experience would be a motivator for Kong in future Kong Skull Island sequels or even Godzilla vs. Kong. I don't really know how it would come into play in that type of situation if they were to somehow use that traumatic experience, just because I don't really know how anyone would know about the traumatic experience besides Kong. It's not like Kong is out here telling campfire stories, but which would actually be kind of funny. But comment below your guys' thoughts. What do you guys think about this kind of thing, the birth of Kong, the death of his parents as well? Do you think it's an interesting origin for Kong, or do you prefer maybe something more traditional for Kong to have as an origin, just him maybe just being the last one outliving everyone else instead of some sort of big battle type of scenario? But comment below and we'll see you guys later.